Good afternoon, good morning, or even good evening, everyone. We will get started in a few minutes as I see people are still joining. Okay, I just give a few more seconds. So for those of you who have just joined, again, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, everyone. I'm Paula. I'm responsible for marketing and sales here at Answer Modules. And on the line with me today, there is Patrick, our CEO and CTO. A new quarter, a new release, as you can see from the screen. The goal of today's session is providing you with the latest new and updates about our model suite. Let me just I'm sharing my screen, but it seems it's blocked. Just a second, sorry. Okay, here I am. So a new quarter, a new release. Today we will be showing you the latest news and updates on the model suite, the new release, version of 3.5. I will give you a very short introduction on the topics, and then I'll give the floor to Patrick for the live demo. If you have any question, just put them on the Q&A panel so we can go through them after the live demo for the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Before starting, let me just give a couple of updates about the upcoming events we will be participating or organizing. So the first event is Answer Model User Group, is our event. This year will be taking place in Rome on September 7th and 8th. AMUG aims to bring together the community, which luckily has grown year after year. It's really the opportunity to meet your peers, other industry experts, and have an open discussion about the latest challenges and trends in the world of ECM. The very first day will be dedicated to the user group, while on the second day we will be providing a complimentary training on the model suite. But the events of the year are not yet over. We are super happy to inform you that we will be participating in OpenText World 2023 as an expert sponsor. With us at our booth, there will be also our Answer Consulting colleagues. So we really look forward to meeting you in Las Vegas in October. And last but not least, we are also happy to inform you that we are about to launch our Model Suite certification program. This program aims to certify your knowledge on the Model Suite and its components. So for those of you who have already attended a Model Suite training course, or for those of you who are interested in follow a Model Suite training course, I think it would be a good opportunity to attest your knowledge and skills and receive a certification. The certification program will be also available for the online self-paced training courses, which are available on our Academy portal. At the moment, of the 3 training courses, there are 2 which are published on the website. Once the third course will also be available, the certification program will also cover all the 3 courses. Now, I presume most of you already know Model Suite. For those of you who don't know it, Model Suite is an add-on module for Exam ECM. We position it as a tool that can enable and accelerate the digital transformation on Extend ECM, on and off cloud. So Model Suite is really a brilliant, effective, and efficient means to create tailored business application on top of Extend ECM for any business process or requirements. Model Suite also allows to personalize the platform in terms of UX, in terms of forms, integration, workflow, has to meet really unique business needs and requests. And the fact that Model Suite doesn't use any proprietary language and adopts a low-coding approach make it easy to reduce drastically the development effort for the implementation of new projects, while accelerating the delivery of new projects, simplify the upgrade process, and also the transition to the cloud. Now, let's get to the heart of the session of today, Model Suite 3.5. The first topic I'd like to cover is how to leverage large language models tool within Extend ECM. So artificially intelligent tools like large language models are really changing the way applications are created and developed, and are shaping the future of the low-code landscape. So since Model Suite is really about creating new application and solution on Extend ECM, our R&D team worked very hard to understand how these tools could be leveraged within Extend ECM with Model Suite. And we can say Model Suite is really in a privileged position. This because Model Suite APIs are really based on the latest standards and trends. So this really simplify the integration and interaction with LLM tools. The second point, as mentioned before, Model Suite doesn't use any proprietary language and adopts a low-coding approach. So it makes really easy and simple to instruct, educate, and transfer knowledge on how Model Suite works and operates to these tools. We can say there are three main areas in which we are currently leveraging this tool. First of all, I'd like to introduce our Model Suite buddy, C.A.R.L. C.A.R.L is our co-pilot that can really help you in designing your script. So from the creation of a simple form to very complex workflow, C.A.R.L is at your disposal to write, edit, and refine your script. You will see in the live demo that you can just prompt C.A.R.L with an instruction. For example, hi C.A.R.L, I need to create this workflow that consists of these steps. That includes this action. C.A.R.L just creates the lines of code for you, and you just review them and utilize them. In this way, you can get the code you need, save time, and boost productivity. The second area is more focused on the business user perspective. So C.A.R.L can be utilized to improve and enhance the overall user experience. So interact with the business user. With the business user has to simplify and streamline the way he performs daily tasks and interaction with the platform. So the input of the business user plus the help of C.A.R.L plus the Model Suite enhancing automation capabilities can create really the perfect synergy to streamline the interaction and the work with the platform. And last but not least, C.A.R.L is also, we're also leveraging C.A.R.L has a generic API integration. So you will see how C.A.R.L can be used to extrapolate data and information content from documents which are in Extend ECM. But Model Suite 3.5 is also about our other news and updates. So for example, new UI widget to cover a greater set of requirements, new extension packages, a new library, which includes also VUCA compliancy. Model Suite 3.5 is certified for Extend ECM version 23.2, and we have also fixed different bugs. So with that, I think I can leave the floor to Patrick for the live demo. Once again, if you have any questions, just put them in the Q&A panel, and we're going to answer them after the live demo.
Thank you, Paola. So let me share my screen and we can start this screen one. Okay, so we have seen and Paula introduced you with the latest enhancements. So the new extension package related to integration with large language model APIs providers. So at this moment, we integrated only with the open APIs, but we designed the extension package so to be provider agnostic. So as soon as other providers will be providing this kind of functionality, you will be able to choose and pick which one is the best for you. We decided to integrate it this way also because emerging open source models are obviously are very successful. So in the very near future, you might want to integrate even your own model, your own trained model. And so we will keep the integration, the extension package open, obviously. So the LLM extension package can be utilized in every script. So you will have the freedom to leverage this kind of integration within your automation. So within your scripts, within your workflow, within your callbacks, wherever you want to utilize it. And you will be able to consume it and to interact with the APIs provided by these providers in various ways. On top of this technology, on top of these APIs, we also build C.A.R.L, which is basically the model suite copilot. Obviously, C.A.R.L is in a beta right now. So what we did was basically to implement a deeper integration with model suites so that you can leverage this copilot in order to accomplish several tasks that are related with typical tasks that you perform on Extended ECM or that are implemented with or applications that are implemented with model suite. So we have integrated these APIs in various ways. So let me show you first the integration from a script perspective. So as I mentioned, in the script, we have now an LLM new extension package. So you will be able to utilize LLM. And LLM is, as I mentioned, is a generic extension package that will allow you to interact with, again, large language models, API providers. You will be able to do various things. So the most common is creating a completion, meaning providing a set of input and ask the system, so the agent, to complete the prompt that you provided, or to implement a sort of dialogue with the agent, so providing a chat user experience to your users, etc. So that all these APIs will be available. And again, they have been, as always, on content script, they have been implemented in a way that is very easy to integrate them with every other context, every other functionality of model suite, every other feature of Extended ECM. So working with categories, classification, combining these kind of APIs will be extremely easy. But we also implement C.A.R.L. So C.A.R.L is a dedicated extension package. And what C.A.R.L does is to basically leverage these underlying APIs in a simplified way. So C.A.R.L is not just an integration in the IDEs, and as you will see in the widget library of the forms and the pages, but is also itself an API that you will be able to utilize. So you will be able to utilize C.A.R.L directly, and you will be able to tune C.A.R.L and to interact with C.A.R.L in various ways and directly in your scripts. So how C.A.R.L is installed, it's actually pretty simple. So you install it as a standard extension package. As one installed, you will have a couple of things available. So first of all, in the administration pages, in the base configuration, you will have a reference to C.A.R.L and to the LLM extension package, and you will be able to configure various aspects of the way you interact with C.A.R.L and the way C.A.R.L works, for example. So here you see the section dedicated to C.A.R.L, and you will see there is various things that you can implement and change, and you will be able to modify. So, for example, the name of the model, the name will be utilized for computing the embeddings and other stuff like this one. You will also be able to change the language in which you are going to talk with C.A.R.L. C.A.R.L currently support English, French, Italian, and German, so you will be able to interact with C.A.R.L in any of these languages. The integration with the, let's say, the scripting, the editors, for this moment, for the time being, covers only the content script editor, but soon it will be integrated with the other editors as well. What you can do with the integration here is either work as you open the editor with a, let me say, a generic prompt that will basically going to search on the knowledge page for the most relevant piece of code snippets, part of his knowledge base that can be utilized as a context to fulfill your request, or you can select a specific snippet and ask basically C.A.R.L to utilize it as a context in order to produce the script part that you want. So I am extensively using C.A.R.L for some time now. I use it for prepare this demonstration as well. Let me show you an example of what you can do. So I can example ask create a form for a demonstration. The form should have 10 fields. Some of them should be dates. And what it basically is doing is, again, looking at the knowledge base and finding out the code that is more relevant. And then through the generative nature of the model is basically applying this, modifying this code in order to generate something that fulfill your requirement. You can obviously ask to generate a portion of the code, and you will see, so it's 10 fields and 2 of them are dates, and so it did the correct work. You can also ask more generic stuff. So for example, I can ask them how to sort a list of maps based on one of their property. So you can ask either a specific stuff or a very generic stuff. So and that in this case will provide you an example, and you will be able to utilize the example in your code. You can ask a generic question, you can ask a specific question. Whenever you are going to select something in the editor, so C.A.R.L is going to utilize it as a context. So what I can do here is to say something like, can you add exception handling? And so it's going to utilize what I have selected as a context and is going to modify it in order to, again, fulfill my request. So in this case, I have basically introduced exception handling, modifying the code that I was already working on. So, and the other way you can utilize it, as I mentioned, is going directly into a specific example and ask him to create a variation or to modify the snippet in order to fulfill your request. So as in this case, I can either work myself and configure it myself and create a script, or I can ask C.A.R.L to do the same thing, providing him more information. Obviously, it is going to utilize the snippet as primary context, so the selected snippet as a primary context, but is also being able to, look into the knowledge base to see if there's anything other that is relevant to be utilized as a context in order to write your script. C.A.R.L has been, so these APIs have been integrated, as I mentioned, in the editors. As I mentioned, also soon will be integrated also in the viewer, in the form builder. And this is because, as you might know, we have APIs that allows us to programmatically create a view. And so C.A.R.L will be able to interact with these APIs and work together with you in order to create the layout of the views you want to create. Another way C.A.R.L has been integrated is into forms. So in forms, you have basically now available a new widget. Oh, sorry. So we have created a new widget. So I can go into my view here and open the form builder. And the widget is, you can configure it to be displayed in various ways. So it can be attached to a single field or can be displayed as a pop-up. So this is the widget, and you will find it in this library here. So it would be really just a matter of dropping it. So here is displayed as a dialogue, sorry, as a part of the page. If I want to be displayed as a dialogue, I can just configure it to make so. And so C.A.R.L will be available and will be able to, again, utilize a dedicated configuration. So this widget will allow you to use the base LLM APIs extension package. So you will be able to configure to do and to accomplish whatever task you might want to accomplish, and can be bound to a specific field and can do very interesting stuff. It will be able to call an action based on the result of the information collecting by the interaction with the API. So let me show you an example of what you can do with it. And so here we have a simple form in which we have actually embedded C.A.R.L, and we have the possibility now to ask C.A.R.L for something. And this something is, can you provide a justification based on the attachment? And so what basically I'm doing is, we have a form with an attachment. I can ask the model to look at the attachment content and then to modify the structure of the form, extracting information directly from the attachment. So it creates that, and now you have the possibility to either copy the result or just use the result in the form, so to modify the information that has been provided in the form, so to fill in all the different fields. And again, the widget doesn't do that, so it was just a small change that applied on the the automatically generated code that allow me to do that. So it's a combination of APIs that were already there, plus the new APIs that allows me to interact with the model. And so this is a very convenient and powerful way of working, and we think that the next generation of extension package, so the next version of the extension package, will be also even more interesting, because will be possible to call directly functions implemented in content script. So basically, you will be able to instruct the model to answer you with a script to be executed, an action to be executed directly based on this comprehension of your prompt. Another way C.A.R.L can be utilized, so sorry, these APIs can be utilized is embedded in pages. So again, basically, you will be able to have that widget displayed in smart pages, smart views, and made as part of the application. So in here, we created a very simple knowledge-based application that works on every document that I'm uploading into the space. And based on the document that they've uploaded, the system will be able to provide me answers. So in this case, for example, I uploaded the transcription of a open text investors presentation. So there is the entire transcription here. And what I can do now is to ask the system information about these documents that I've uploaded. So what can you tell me about Micro Focus acquisition? And again, the system will be basically looking at the documents and will be utilize them as a context to provide an answer based on what you found into the context. And in this case, what I decided to do was really to leverage the fact that I can utilize an action to implement a more interactive user experience. So I will be basically able to click on here and have the relevant portion of the document that was utilized to provide me the answer displayed into the relevant documents in here. And the nice thing is that I don't have to do much now. So the only thing that I need to do is to just upload a document, and I will be immediately able to, query the documents and query the content of the documents based on the information that I'm providing in the front. And so in terms of the integration, there is just another bit that it is relevant, and is the integration with the application builder tool. So the application builder will allow you to now to basically work with these. You have a new template of an application, and this template will allow you to work with these APIs in order to build a complex application in your system. So this is works very similar to a notepad. So I can ask him to can you create an application to approve and archive invoices. And what it does is to create, first of all, a task, a set of tasks, basically a plan. And then for each one of the tasks that identifies as part of the plan is going to elaborate on what needs to be created and what APIs should be utilized. So it will, again, as soon as the plan is completed, is basically going again through the list of tasks, and is going to produce for you the code relevant for each task, and is going to again output this code, so you will be able to basically take it and utilize for creating your own application. Another important addition so that we implemented as part of this release, so there's other few new extension packages that have been introduced. So I mentioned LLM, I mentioned C.A.R.L. There's also a recommend security API that have been introduced. I think I didn't install. Yeah. And so these also will allow you to work with records management and security clearance, and able to manipulate that information directly from here, directly from the content script. So that is another extension package that has become part of the model suite. As always, these extension packages, you are free to install or uninstall them based on your needs. So they are optional modules, so it's not mandatory to have them or to install them. As in terms of how things need to be configured in order for C.A.R.L to work, what you also will be able to do is to import C.A.R.L. So, and from the import tool, you will have now a new section, C.A.R.L, and basically C.A.R.L is everything that is related to C.A.R.L will be automatically stored into CS Tools C.A.R.L. And what you will find here is the new snippet, the new services, and an utility script that you can utilize if you want to override C.A.R.L's knowledge base. So again, the knowledge base of C.A.R.L is based on the content of your content script snippets library. So if you have created over time your own scripts, you will be able to decorate them so that C.A.R.L will be able to utilize them as part of its own knowledge. And so what you can do through these utilities to create or regenerate the knowledge base, and through the base configuration, you will be able to say, I do not want to use the standard one, I want to utilize my own knowledge base, and you will just provide the override ID for the node that contains your knowledge base. And here you will find the utilities required to create this knowledge base. Other things that are now part of the solution that Paula mentioned. So there are a few new widgets that we have that we introduced as part of the new release. So they can be utilized both on forms and pages. So there is a bunch of them available, and I'd like to show you a couple of them. So classic view and property views from here. So they are still in the sandbox library, just as a reminder that they are still to be considered work in progress, and they are probably going to change in the next releases. But I have to say, most of them are absolutely stable, and you will be able to utilize them in your application. So there is a few new of them. So the tree view, the toolbar, the panel container, the list view, grids have been introduced, accordion classifications, etc. So and the things that you will be able to do with these widgets are quite impressive. So this is the example. So the grids, the tree, the classification selector that also allows me to create a new classification on the fly. So I will be able to create new classification on the fly directly from here, and or to select an existing classification, etc. So it's quite a powerful set of new widgets. I'd like to show you an example on how an application can be built on top of these widgets. So this is an example of a dashboard of an application that is leveraging all these widgets combined. And you can do very interesting stuff here. So for example, I can utilize this combination to filter the information that I'm looking into the grids. I can provide additional information to my users related to ongoing workflows. I can utilize the grid, for example, to group the information that I'm looking at. I will be able to use the panel and the toolbar to organize the real estate of the page. So to create this, for example, easy way to navigate amongst different functionalities. And I will be able to create, for example, in here, when you create, not a new contract, but when you create a new clause is an example of the possibility offered by the selector. Okay, so these kind of things. And another good example is the for the tree and for the panels is this page in here, where we have utilized the tree and the panel to keep the view very organized, and allows us to to modify very easily the content. So I can, for example, look for this page here, not even one. So I'm looking for a contract in the right stage. I think that I will, maybe it's easier if I create it. So, for example, non-disclosure agreements, webinar, first party. create contracts. So, for example, in here you can see how we leverage the tree to implement something that allows us to easily reorganize the content of a document. So I can take, for example, this here and move it on different position. I can utilize the toolbar to provide navigation. I can utilize the different panels to create this kind of navigation. So combined together, they're great to create layouts and to implement new functionality. So an entire new set of widgets are become available. And the last thing for today is the WCAG library. So what we did was to introduce an entire new library that is WCAG compliant. So form built with this library, they will be totally accessible. And if you inspect and check this form with the tools that are typically utilized to verify the accessibility of the page, you will find that there is no errors and no mistakes. So this page is accessible, and people with, for example, problem to their that have disabilities will be able to work nicely with the page. The library contains a more than decent amount of widgets, so it's not as rich as all the others libraries because of constraints related to the different widgets. But they are definitely more than enough to create a form of any level of complexity. And the good thing is here is that we put a lot of work and effort in make every widget compliant, so you don't have to really think too much about how to make them the entire view compliant with this kind of accessibility frameworks. And you will find it as part of the release as well. So the idea here is that the entire library of module suite is going to be migrated into the WCAG compliant library, and it at the end, so in one of the next releases, so the will be completely substituted by a library widgets that is totally compliant with accessibility principles. And with that, I think that we reached the end of our presentation, and I think that is a very good time to answer some of the question you might have raised.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Let me reshare my screen.
Okay, so let me go through the questions that have been asked into the panel. So the first question is from David. Will C.A.R.L be able to handle 2 languages at the same time, or the settings limited to a single language? So for a time being, C.A.R.L will be able to answer only in the language that you have configured in the base configuration. We are very interested in understanding your use cases. We are very interested in hearing feedbacks from you, as always. And so if you think that multiple languages is a thing and you want to reach out to us and explaining why or where you see that feature useful, we will be definitely open to consider it and for a new feature for the next releases. Another question from Marcos. Are you interested in working with some of your customers in real world use case applying C.A.R.L functionality? Absolutely, yes. As I mentioned, we are definitely very much interested in understanding how this new technology can be applied to the context of Extended ECM. We are very much convinced that it is a game changer, and that in the enterprise information management space, particularly, it is absolutely a wonderful field, because it's there where the digital content is, it's where the information from a company is stored. So in our opinion, the integration between these two technologies definitely can really create enormous advantages for the companies that are willing to invest in it. Can you extract content from Word document, for example, and prepare a PowerPoint presentation based on a predefined templates? Let's say that you would like to prepare a lesson learned presentation based on the content take from Word document. So we can extract text from the Word document, and yes, and creating a PowerPoint based on information shouldn't be too hard. So I think that with just a bit of work, the use cases that you mentioned can be implemented with what we have right now. So I think that is definitely worth to give it a shot, and will be definitely interesting to see what can be implemented. In which language C.A.R.L is available? As I mentioned, English, French, German, and Italian. Will be the control lifecycle management application be available soon to download and import into your content server anytime soon? Yes, it will be. So will be available very soon. When will 3.5 be available? So we are currently in the process of certifying 3.5 with the OpenText team. So for the deployment on containerized environment. So as 3.4 was already certified, but we are basically running new tests against 23.2, and we expect them to be completed very soon. So as soon as they will be completed, 3.5 will be released. I think it's really a matter of days now. What will be the compatibility maxes for the user release look like? It will be compatible with Content Server 23? Yes. So at first, Model Suite 3.5 will be released with compatible only with 23.2. But we have, what we want to do is to provide compatibility also with previous versions in the upcoming weeks. So again, as soon as will be GA, it will be available and compatible only with the latest version of Content Suite. But in the upcoming weeks, we will make so that will be also available for previous releases. Where is C.A.R.L located? Reads document coming. When C.A.R.L reads documents coming from our content server instance on premise, how is the document secure from other customers? So C.A.R.L is nothing but the integration with, as I mentioned, the OpenAI APIs. So the document is whenever you decide to utilize the document that you have stored in your system as part of the context for your prompt, what we are actually doing is sending this request to the OpenAI APIs and receive the information back. So obviously, OpenAI can be a trust provider, and the reason why we decided to leverage their APIs first is because, in our opinion, again, Microsoft, and particularly with their Azure offering, they will offer very, very soon, and is already actually offering these models in a private cloud. So you will be able to integrate these solutions in your own private cloud if you have the possibility. And so thank you all, as always. Okay. When will 3.6 be released? As we are upgrading to 23.3. So 3.6 is scheduled for release on September. So, so as you might know, so we are now decided to have the, so we have shifted the compatibility with the latest version of Content Server. And so as soon as 23.3 will be available, 3.5 will be made compatible with it. and 3.6 will be released next as already compatible with 23.3, 23.2 for sure, and hopefully previous version as well.
Any other question, Patrick?
Yes, so OpenText is an enabler for OT AppWorks product called Case Accelerator, which basically citizen developers can build dynamic workflows by defining their own steps. It's something possible to do that with Content Server with Model Suite. So in terms of the workflow capabilities, it's actually a very powerful solution because as you may know, we have APIs that allows us to create programmatically workflow maps. And we tested and trained C.A.R.L in order to be able to leverage these APIs. And he has been successfully able to create complex workflow maps for scenarios described at the very high level. So that is, it's quite interesting. And the fact that is, so we can use our scripts into the workflow as event scripts as a single step, allows us also to add business logic to the workflows. And what also you can do is to ask the system to automatically generate these scripts. So combining the two things, you will be able to create complex applications. And we, as I mentioned, tested it with just creating a complex workflow map. It's something that can be done already right now. And if there are no other questions, I think that, Paula, we can wrap up here.
Yes, we can wrap up here. Let me remind you that you will be receiving the recording of this webinar per email, and we will also publish it on our LinkedIn company page, as well as on our YouTube channel. So thank you very much for your time, your attention. Hope that the webinar was interesting and useful. And we really hope to see you in Rome for our AMUG event and also in Las Vegas for OpenText World 2023. Thank you, everyone. Speak soon.
Bye, everybody.